Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Becca. I am an illustrator, graphic designer, and small business owner. Today I am going to be doing a little screen recap of one of my favorite animes, Sailor Moon, Diva. And I wanted to do this because I'm really into doing a little bit of fan art this year. I know I have done a couple in the past. I've done my Ariel one, which I really have to redo and do that illustration justice. I have my Carrie and my Coraline ones. Those two are my favorite. And besides from the other fan arts that I used to do, which was more realistic, I don't know, but I like doing the realism, but it kind of took a little bit of a hassle for me. It kind of became a little bit of a hassle for me because it took so long to finish. I wanted to go back to doing that, but it's not really for me at the moment. I think it was just something for me to learn. I did learn how to color in better with colored pencils, and also when it comes to shadows and lighting, it did help me a lot to learn and figure out how to do a couple of things that I wanted to do and learn. So this is, I think, another reason why I'm doing this screen recap. It's because I want to learn a little bit more, especially when it comes to anime where the style is completely different from mine. And I did draw this in my style, but I'm coloring it in the style that I saw, but it's just a little recap of that little frame that I got. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and I will leave you with future me. Hello everyone. I know it's been a really long time since we've seen each other, and I'm sorry, but I needed to take a little mental health break and simply ignore everything. So I'm very sorry about that. But we are back and starting this month with one of my favorites, and it's one of my favorite animes, which is Sailor Moon. I decided to draw this because I haven't done fan art in a really long time. I think the last fan art I did was it was either Carrie or Coraline, and that's still a lot. So, and it's been years, okay? So I think it's been like two years maybe that I did it, because if I remember correctly, I did do Coraline and Carrie for Halloween of one of those years way back. So it's been a while. So I decided to do a little screen recap. I don't really remember which episode this is. I will try and find out the name of the episode for you guys, because I went into a spiral looking for the screenshot that I wanted to redraw in my style and try to figure everything out and just just have some fun doing it. And I did choose this one especially because of the lighting, and I really want to work a little bit more with darker values just to get out a little bit out of my comfort zone. So I did draw this one, and I actually drew a couple of other arts, but those were mostly original arts that I had during the same time. And I decided to go with this one first because I thought it was pretty fun, and because I also like Sailor Moon. I do think I might do a little bit more when it comes to like all of the sailors, because I do want to do Sailor Mercury and Sailor Mars as well. Sailor Venus 100%, because I used to love her a lot. I'm actually considering doing Tuxedo Mask, because even though when I was a kid I used to think it was completely outrageous that nobody knew who the Tuxedo Mask was, and I was just like, dude, it's just him in a mask. But I'm not gonna complain. It's magic. I'm just gonna say it's magic. My excuse for this thing nowadays, it's magic. So I did decide to do that. Here actually you can see when I actually sketched this out. Was actually written on the sketch. I did it on the 18th of last year. I was
on a break, but I was sketching, so yay for me. Why did I say last year? Last month. Wait, was it last month? You know what? I don't remember anymore. It passed too soon. I'll just add a little clippy thingy to remind myself. Why does it feel like I haven't done this in ages? Because that's technically how it feels right now. But besides the blabbing, I am currently getting on doing the colors. I do end up putting the colors for the mouth and her tongue and the eyes in the wrong layer. I do end up fixing that when I'm coloring in, but I do that later. Here I am finally starting the background. I had a lot of trouble starting this because my Photoshop wouldn't work and a whole bunch of other things started happening at the same time. It was just crazy. It was just like a crazy moment in time. So I did have some crazy, how do I say, some things happening that kind of made this illustration take a little longer to draw, but in the end I actually managed to finish it pretty fast, even though I took a while to post it. But when it came to the background, I actually thought the background was a little bit too green, especially because in the image itself, everything is a little bluey in the background. Like they have like a blue tint in the background. So technically what I did, I just, instead of literally just putting the colors into a bluer hue, I just literally got a dark blue back color. I put it as a background. I changed the style, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't put it on multiply though. I don't remember what color I put it on, but I did just go with it to make it and have a little bluey tinty in the background because I still wanted to give that bluish tint like the frame itself, because even though I was doing this in my own style, I still wanted to have the original colors popping in as best as I could, even though I did not use like the color drop. I just eyed everything, and the colors that I didn't want to make them too blue or just mishmash them, I just kind of did it in my own way just to make everything better. When it came to coloring in her outfit, I did actually have a lot of fun. There was a part from, I don't really remember what this thing in her hand is called anymore, but yeah, I'm just gonna call it a light stick, okay? If you're into K-pop, you know this thing looks like a light stick. Please don't come for me. I don't remember what it's called. Please do not come for me. But yes, from now on, I'm calling it a light stick, so stick with me here. And I really thought it would, I did a little mistake because I only did the golden parts of it, and then I don't think you guys noticed, hopefully you guys are probably gonna notice it now, that I actually ended up adding it later on when I noticed that there was a certain part of it missing, and I also changed how the wings from it came out. Though this was literally one of my favorite parts here. Not only that, but also her clothes and the bow. I really loved the way I colored it in. I love the way I implemented shadows on it as well. I thought it was really sweet, really fun to do. The colors on her uniform was also one of my favorites because even though it's a white, I don't really like to use gray on white. And if I'm not mistaken, this wasn't even like a white that I used. It's a little bit bluey as well. It does have like a bluish tint to it, but it's very, very light. And for the darker shade, I also used another very light, but it does have a little bit of gray into it, just to make it a little bit better when it comes into the contrast, just so it doesn't look muddy and it still gives out better contrast for the shadows and for what I wanted to do. And then I just went in with a little bit of a darker, and I blew, and I did make it a little bit grayer. And I do like to use the color wheel for this because I find that the colors are less muddy, and I could just pick out any color that I have there and I can darken it or lighten it, and it will still like give me the exact same value but in a different color, and it will look beautiful. So I do recommend you guys changing the color and just turning it and putting it into a color wheel. Now I am just I don't really know what they call that little scarf that they put on top of the uniform where she has the bow and everything. I know that is actually very customary in Japan for uniforms to have that. I really need to know what that is, because for someone who literally lived wearing uniforms throughout her entire life, we never had that when I was a kid, so I unfortunately don't know if it's just a tie and a bow, so I'm sorry. But I really love the way I did the shadows for that. I didn't go too crazy on the shadows on the clothes because I was still going to have another shadow path where I was going to make things a little bit darker just to give in a little bit more character and make it a little bit more into the scenario that, you know, like she is in the dark and she does have a little bit of light coming from the light post to her right, and if I'm not mistaken there was also another light post coming from the left, but it wasn't that, it didn't hit specific areas because her hair was blocking it. So I did dabble in that when I did this as well, especially whilst doing the shadow pass. Here I'm doing the hair. I'm not gonna lie, this kind of took a while for me to do. I was really out of practice on how I was going to do the hair, and it was giving. It was giving, what am I doing? But I do end up figuring it out, and I think I did an actually really good job because I played around with the highlights. I also looked at the original image to see where exactly the shadows were on her hair, and that's technically how I guided myself to do the shadows on her body, because her hair had a lot of shadows, and especially because I still kept it into a little bit of a more I did kind of keep it into a straighter style. I didn't really want to do a wavy style to her hair. I don't know why, I just didn't really feel like doing that to her hair. I think it does look better off like the way I did, but if I ever do another one I will try and make it like a giant curl. Maybe that could be fun as well for me to do. Or maybe it's like straight and then it just curls in the bottom. I don't know. I just wanted to have a little fun and just go with it. Here I'm just putting some extra touches and doing the other side of her hair that I hadn't finished off yet, because there was a lot of light coming in from the right side and I needed to get that light a little bit better, so when I put in some darker tones it would actually show where the darker tones are exactly, especially in the middle of her head, since her head is divided perfectly in the middle. Now I'm kind of just playing around and starting my favorite, which is doing the skin. I really enjoyed this because I'm not used to doing fan art, as I said, and I really love this one. I think I'm kind of going to do another one. I might, you know what, you guys leave me who you guys want me to do next. I would love to know which Sailor would you guys like me to do next. I'll even do a little poll to see which Sailor Moon character would you guys want me to do next, and I will do it. So I was doing some shadows for her skin, and I realized that the shadow kind of looked a little bit muddy. So normally when that happens, what I do is I like to go in with a little blush on where I put the shadow in between the skin that didn't have the shadow and the skin that had shadow. And I actually like just taking the eye drop and then clicking on that color and then going through the rest of the skin and just making sure that it blends in with the rest of the skin, and it actually ends up giving a little bit of a rosy area. I know I don't do it throughout like everything because I do like to make it a little bit different. Right here I'm using the one that I made and just putting it over there because I also made it a little bit darker, so I'm putting it a little bit darker where it is, just to give it a little bit more of a life and make it a little bit funner to actually see. And with that, I am just adding the dark blue that I added to do the highlights, and that's pretty much it. And after this, I'll let you guys finish this off, and I will see you again later on in past or future me doing the end screens. And I hope you guys have a great time. Bye, guys!
Hey guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative, and let's see what else I have for you guys for the next one. If you guys enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel. And if you guys wanted to continue watching, you can see there's a pretty little video over here for you guys that I suggest. And also, if you guys want to check out my store, there's also the link down somewhere down here. So I will catch you guys next week for more. Bye guys!